Hello and welcome back to the channel, The Pro Work Method. And this is where we discuss concepts from the book, Happiness and Wellbeing Through Balance and Progress, The Pro Work Method. Today is just going to be a pretty quick little show on the process we use, the creative process that we use either for problem solving or for creative projects. In the Pro Work Method. And it's a simple process, really. We're just going to go over it quickly here again so that you can add the power of that to whatever it is you're doing in your creative work or in your problem-solving endeavors. And essentially, our process is this. We like to let the power of your creativity assist you. We like to give it the time to assist you. We like to give it the space to assist you. It's like drawing water from a well. The first few scoops of water that you draw, if the well has been used for a while, you take some pails of water out of there and the well can be a little bit stagnant. But if you run the water and you run it out to the point where it sort of clears up, suddenly you're pulling out nice water again. Now, when people go to use their creative powers and skills to either problem solve or to do a creative process, a lot of times, as they come up to try to do it, they kind of feel anxiety or they sort of feel apprehension. And when they're feeling these things, it's because you're trying immediately to come up with your best ideas. You think, wow, I'm gonna come up with something creative right here, right now. I'm doing some problem solving and I have this particular problem I'd like to solve. I'd like to come up with some ideas to solve it. And you sit down and right away you're feeling that pressure. I want to come up with good ideas. In that case, I think you're actually stifling your creative process. You're not actually letting the power of your creativity actually get in and help you there. I think the process that I would like to recommend is this. When you are trying to come up with creative answers for a particular problem, or you might be trying to suggest topics for a creative project, or you might be trying to, suggest ideas for a creative project. When you sit down to do that, sit down without tension, sit down with no apprehension, sit down with no preconceived notions of what you'd like to happen there. And just don't sit down with any pressure on yourself of any kind. Sit down with the idea that say, okay, I'm gonna pose this one question to myself. And I'm gonna take about 10 minutes here. And I'm just gonna come up with every answer that I can come up with. I'll run the stopwatch for 10 minutes, 5 minutes if you feel you're tight for time. But, come up with a good amount of time, 5 or 10 minutes, that you can actually sit down, pose a question to yourself, and every idea that pops into your head that has any potential at all, just any idea that pops into your head to answer the question that you posed yourself, write that idea down and write down the next one and write down the next one and write down the next one and do that for the 5 to 10 minutes. And here's the process. The process is you're not trying to come up with good answers there. You're not trying to come up with anything brilliant. You're not trying to come up with oh boy, this is the answer I want to really solve my problems. No, what you're trying to do is engage your power of creativity. So by just giving yourself that 10 minutes and no pressure, no anxiety, no tension, no expectations, just write down whatever answers come to your mind for the 10 minutes. At the end of that time period, you look at the answers. What you're going to find is your creativity will have been engaged in the process. And somewhere there, amidst a bunch of answers that, were off the top of your head, some of them are not going to be very good, some of them are not going to make a lot of sense. But there will be answers in there. There will be little nuggets, and you're going to go, hey, this is an interesting idea. This is an interesting idea for a project. This is an interesting idea for an answer to the problem that I posed myself. And so now what we're going to do, having utilized the power of our creativity, is that we're going to take the top 3 of those and we're going to put those aside and say, hey, here's 3 really good ideas I had about this. But now what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do a 5 to 10 minute brainstorm on each one of these ideas. So now I'm going to take the one I think is the best one first. It doesn't matter. You're taking 3 ideas out of there. Just take one of them and say, great, how would I best go about this? What are ideas that correspond with this? So that's what I'm going to do. First of all, I'm going to brainstorm some ideas that correspond with this. So am I going to say, gee, what would be a really great idea to correspond with this? What would be a really great activity for this? No, I'm just going to sit down, put the clock on again for the 5 to 10 minutes, whatever you're comfortable with, and I'm going to come up with a lot of ways to engage that idea. I could do this, I could do that, I could learn this, I could think of that. Maybe this idea goes with that idea. Just a whole bunch of utilizing your creative process. Again, relying on the power of your creativity, not relying on the power of you to come up with one good answer under pressure. That is not engaging the power of your creativity. And I can tell you this really from experience. The one thing I have to say in my life, I've worked on a lot of projects. I've worked on a lot of one-offs. I've worked for myself my entire life. Whether you take the book that we're discussing here or other projects that I'm working on, some scripts I've written, things, I'm very used to using the power of my creativity. I've also been a lifelong musician. I've written songs, I've written parts, I play 5 instruments. I've had to use that creativity a lot. And I can just tell you that if you put pressure on it, if you only want to jot down good ideas, if you want to be immediately impressed and proud with your brilliance, you are going to have a hard time using the actual power of your creativity. If you let that all go, take the 5-10 minutes, pose the question to yourself, pose the problem. Maybe you're writing lyrics for a song, maybe you're doing whatever. Maybe you're looking for another way to do something in your life. Like you could be looking to solve financial problems. You could be looking to improve your relationships. You could be looking to move ahead any of the 7 areas of your pro work in your pro work method book, Happiness and Wellbeing Through Balance and Progress. You could be looking for answers for anything. Sit down for that 5 to 10 minutes and come up with every answer that comes off the top of your head. Allow that water to flow. After that, you will look at these things and there will be good ideas there. As a matter of fact, if in 5 to 10 minutes, when you're done, if you look at that and say, you know what? I don't like any of the ideas there. Well, tell you what, give yourself another 5-10 minutes, sit back down on the same question, do it again, and just keep cranking out the answers. Now, don't give yourself any time to think about it. Things pop into your mind all the time. Creative ideas pop into your mind all the time. Creative answers and all kinds of, honestly, things that if you listen to in your life, you'd be getting a big uptake in a lot of areas just from the little creative ideas that pop into your head pretty regularly. But in this particular exercise, again, the creative process, it's just to write down every one that pops in your head. And you do that 5-10 minutes again, you shut it off, you look at them, there's going to be good ones there. You're going to take the best 3 of those. You're going to pull them out to the side. You're going to take them one at a time, 5-10 minutes, and you're going to develop them with ideas, potential activities. Now, if in that second list you find that, you've got a bunch of ideas that correspond with these, and they're good ideas, you like them, pick the best 3, put them in there. If they're not activities, say, great, now I'm going to take these best 3 ideas and I'm going to brainstorm a list. This is our creative process. I'm going to just sit down and I'm say, what is a list of activities to help me to move ahead with these ideas, to help me move ahead with the big idea? And sit down and do the 5 to 10 minutes. I know this is a lot of repetition in this, but the idea is to use your power of creativity, not to stifle it, not to put pressure on yourself, not to honestly just use your sort of conscious mind and that, where you just sit down and go, no, I'm going to write down one idea and it's going to be a great one. Okay, that is not the way to use your creativity. So I hope you used my advice on this. I've really given this information out to a lot of people over the last few years to get them to try it and test it. I've used it a lot myself. It gets you past creative blocks. I mentioned that part in an earlier video on getting past creative blocks. It really gets you to your best ideas. It really gets you wielding the power of your creativity. Also gets you sitting down without the tension. You actually learn to sit down in a creative scenario without tension, without anxiety, and without fear, because you're not under pressure to perform. Just sit down and write out the lists. Let the water flow. Pick the best ideas. Move on from there. I hope that you got something out of this today. Again, I know that the process seemed a bit repetitive, but I'm really trying to make a point that's going to help you very, very much. And if you, by the end of this video, it should be quite ingrained in you, and you can go take it right now and use it for any little problem you'd like to solve or anything that you'd like to work on, either a problem solving or a creative project or anything. Use this process. It's going to work for you. And I hope you enjoy it and have a great day. Remember, this all comes from the book Happiness and Wellbeing Through Balance and Progress, the Pro Work Method. It's available through the link on Amazon on this channel. Also, there's a workbook for this Happiness and Wellbeing book, and the workbook is on the website, the Pro Work Method. The workbook is something that you could just download as a PDF. It's essentially it's a $3 file that you can download immediately, and there are a lot of exercises. Well, essentially all the exercises that come up throughout the book are available in that exercise book. I would say if you're getting the book, or if you're enjoying these shows, if you're getting something out of that, then you can watch the shows, you can get the book, and you can get the workbook. And when you work with those things together, you've got a system. Get your creativity going, get your life moving in the direction that you want, take control of the whole thing, and feel good the whole time. The reason it's happiness and well-being, that is the point. We want you to feel happiness and well-being. You're going to feel that through balance in your life and through progress. The whole thing's on the front of the book. There's no mystery. Thanks for your time today. If you liked the content on the channel and you think that this might work for you, please subscribe. Have a great day.